Well then, I see about an hour and a half of the actual pay-per-view itself. And that's how we end. Predictable as ever, with no point whatsoever. Your main event doesn't have to have the title on the line, especially at WrestleMania, because this has been proven time in and time again. Cena and The Rock didn't have the title on the line. So, why? I mean, we're just building this to Lesnar winning the title at Mania, and then we don't have a Universal Champion right away. I mean, to be honest, I think this is just this. Okay, first off, everyone probably is going to be quick to say, Owen, you're going to be really butthurt about this because you're a Kevin Owens mark. Well, yeah, that is the case. And I don't care. That's not necessarily a bad thing, number one. Number two, here's the issue that I'm seeing right now. And Ashley, you brought this up too before we went live. This feud between Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho deserves to be for the Universal Championship after as much heat as it's gotten. And now you put the title on the big marquee match at WrestleMania being Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, and it doesn't need the title. Some people need the title to be over. Some matches need the title to be relevant. Goldberg and Lesnar can be relevant on its own. It does not need the championship on the line.
It didn't need Survivor Series.
No, it totally didn't. And it's just ridiculous. It's like business as usual, to be totally honest. And I mean, okay, for those of you that have been following along with me on Twitter, number one, I'm sorry for blowing up your feed. I've been at the Impact Zone for the last 4 days. Say what you want about Impact and the product itself and all the trials and tribulations the company's had. There's some interesting television coming in the next several weeks. Yeah, but I mean, there's still some fun stuff. And there's some fun segments that fans are going to enjoy, like past fans are really going to enjoy. And there's a lot.
Are they going to actually bother to go back to it?
Well, apparently, from what I've seen recently, they actually had an uptick on the ratings this past week. Every little bit helps, actually. But every little bit helps at this point.
It probably went up because they realize that's the last time they're probably seeing the Hardys.
Yeah. But a lot of the general public don't know this information. We got to understand there's people, and I encountered a lot of them over the weekend, that have no idea what's going on with anything involving the Hardys. They don't know about them showing up at Manhattan Mayhem and winning the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles from the Young Bucks. They don't know about them signing with Ring of Honor. They don't know about them not going to be showing up at WrestleMania. They just know that they're not there anymore. And they wanted an explanation.
They don't even know that there's a pay-per-view this Friday, which might feature the Hardys versus the Young Bucks, or the Hardys versus the Briscoes, or something.
Yeah. Real quick, before we get started, I want to welcome everyone to chat. I do have a setup now where I actually can fully focus on chat because I'm here live from the brand new studio apartment here in Orlando, Florida. Yes. Hey, Colt Cabana, how you doing? Now, Jeremy Mills, hello. Anthony Gutierrez, you're very welcome for the Impact updates. I did the best I could. Obviously, if you listen to this show, it's not going to really show as much because I wasn't able to fully experience the show. But if you listen to our show tomorrow for Raw or our Wednesday Wrestling Popcast or when we do the 15th anniversary Ring of Honor Popcast on Friday night, you're going to hear what I'm truly capable of. And I can't tweet that much. Logan says, I got one word for the pay-per-view, delete, delete, delete. And the issues I have was Roman pinned Strowman clean. We'll get to that. And, yeah, I appreciate you saying that about the Impact updates. I was very happy to give them, to be honest. There's interesting things coming. And that quickly into the show. Welcome to another, this time a Raw branded WWE pay-per-view podcast here on the Podcast Network. My name is Owen. Joining me, as always, is Ashley, and we're going to talk a little bit of the Fastlane tonight. I'm not happy, to say the least. I understand why things were done the way they were tonight, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, another thing, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but when you look at it from the perspective of they built up Charlotte's epic reign of winning pay-per-view title matches and never losing a pay-per-view title match. And you would think for 1 second that they would let this go to WrestleMania and then have her lose. But no, you had to blow it off on Raw, and then you had to completely blow the pay-per-view streak on a pay-per-view that I know a lot of people didn't even pay attention that was on tonight.
So much for the whole, oh, if you get 30 days for free, you get Fastlane and WrestleMania for nothing.
See, Ashley, this is your fault. 100%. This is your fault. You know why?
What?
Because you went on record the other day, on the Wednesday show, you told me, you're like, oh, and I'm sorry, but when it comes down to it, this is your first WrestleMania, and it's going to be crap. So you put that juju on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't take that away.
Help me, Tom Cruise! Help me, Tom Cruise!
Yeah, Jeremy Mills says, not a good look for Owens when Goldberg is clearly in much better shape than him. What does it matter? Owens is not supposed to be in great shape. He's a stocky guy. That's how it works. I don't care. Whit Williams says Impact's going well.
The thing about this show, though,
right,
is apart from your triple main event, which was literally matches 7, 8, and 9, yes, we had 9 matches on the pay-per-view.
That's crazy.
Which is a rarity. The rest of it was actually surprisingly good to really, really good.
Yeah, I'm going to have to come back and watch some of the stuff. Logan said the Cruiserweight match was the best one on the pay-per-view. I actually did get to see the Cruiserweight title match. That was the first. I got done from Impact, came back to my apartment, and I was able to still catch Gallagher and Neville. So kudos to me for being able to make it back here fast.
I've had to cancel all my cinema. I could have been seeing Get Out early.
Oh, it's a good movie. You like it.
But I realized I couldn't because it clashes with WCPW.
Speaking of that, currently available on this network, just went up earlier tonight. AJ and his brother Chris's review of Logan. So that's up here on the network right now, too, if you want to check that out.
Oh, sweet, sweet goodness, that is.
I'll see it eventually. Jeremy says the names WWE buried tonight. Rusev to Big Show.
I'm just pissed that you'll actually be getting the full version with the bloody Deadpool teaser.
You know, me above all people could care less about that.
No, but it's like the American audience is getting the full version.
Right.
Just like the American audience got the shawarma scene at the end of the Avengers. We didn't.
That's a good point. Like I said, Jeremy says Rusev was buried by Big Show. Strowman was buried by Reigns. Strowman was buried by Bailey, I guess. I don't know. Owens was buried by Goldberg. Jeremy, we'll get into those simultaneously as we move on to the show.
Who the fuck is Peter Rosenberg?
Yeah, is he still wearing Mark shirts?
I think he was just in a standard shirt. I would have to go to the pre-show.
Well, let's go to the pre-show real quick.
He was in a t-shirt. I think he was like in a standard sort of shirt.
Let's talk about a match that I actually really wanted to see, which is Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa versus Noam Dar and B. Brian Kendrick.
Well, before that, we actually had a backstage segment. Apparently, Stephanie's stuck on a plane, so she won't be able to make it to the show. So Foley's in charge. So then Rusev and Jinder come in, arguing with each other because apparently they aren't a tag team anymore. And Foley goes, "You got a squabble to settle? How about we do a best of 7 match?" And everybody, even Stephanie on the phone, as if she was in the room, sort of on the other side of the phone, all simultaneously went, "No." And then Foley was, "Okay." how about you both go to the ring later tonight for a match? Decide which one of you is going to go first because you'll both be in singles action. And they go out, and then Stephanie's left hanging on the phone. Apparently. Then we get social media Charlie with Samoa Joe. And Joe's sort of not happy being there, but actually answers the questions well. Says, my plans for WrestleMania, all will be revealed in good time. But don't worry, somebody's gonna suffer. And then afterwards, like right at the end, as if he was just gonna be mad, it was just like, can you get this mic off me, please? And then we had the video package for Austin Aries. A much grander one. Owen's seen it, I think.
Yeah, I have.
Because they showed the one they showed later on is the one they showed here as well. So yeah, we get into Swan and Tozawa versus Kendrick Noam Dar. The great thing is, the Aries was like is Dar going to be focused? Oh, wait, I've already been told because out comes Alicia Fox. Oh.
He's not going to stop, folks. He just doesn't.
They didn't do that a single thing tonight, so that's why I did it.
Okay, that's fair.
It's a shame I'm not on my tablet because I'd show you the notes. I've written down 24 zeros and about 16 X's to emphasize it.
Wow.
But yeah, this is like, well, he's gonna lose because Alicia's there. It's like, thank you, Aries. Thank you.
You realize Aries is basically becoming what CM Punk was as a commentator for NXT.
Pretty much. The interesting thing as well is both Corey and Aries were sort of being both heels and face commentators.
Interesting.
They were sort of flipping between the two. Now, Aries was giving Tozawa props, and Corey was like backing Kendrick. But then a few minutes later, it was like Kendrick's teaching him lessons for free. If I got free lessons from a quality talent like that, I wouldn't let them go to waste. We'd probably be charging hundreds of dollars for them. Good match. They all got a chance to shine, and because it's those four, it's like none of them are like not talented.
Oh yeah. I really
the
wanted
most
to see
important
them
thing
smash.
is the finish, because Tozawa hit his German on Kendrick, both being the illegal man, and Dar is put pretty close to the turnbuckle on the floor, and Rich Swann climbs up to the top turnbuckle, and he did the deal.
He did he did. Wait a minute. Hold on. The deal is a Falcon Arrow.
Fuck it, it's a Phoenix Splash.
You're referring to the Phoenix Splash.
It's still a Seth Rollins move, so he did the deal.
Close enough. We'll go with that.
It's like we had two Phoenix Splashes as if we're doing it in tribute to Seth. That's the thing. It's like,
okay, that fits. I like that. Pinhead Larry says no taker, no
with the Red Arrow. We technically did do the deal.
Yeah, kinda.
But we'll get to that.
Pinhead Larry says no taker, no Brock. This pay-per-view was horrible. Some good matches though. I only got to see like the last hour and a half of the show, so we're getting ready to discuss the actual show itself after the pre-show.
Yeah, which we pretty much transitioned to immediately, because it's Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe.
Oh, this sounds like a good match. They only gave it 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was predominantly just Joe working him over There was some
Right.
offense from Sammy. There was a good bit when towards the end when he obviously went for the haluva kick, but he basically sort of like grabbed him and sort of like rock bottomed him just straight down to the mat sort of thing.
He hit the
Just
ST
powered
Joe.
out of it. Yeah, but the finisher was obviously the Kikina clutch submission, and
Makes sense.
not even a tap out, just like he's passed out. Quick, somebody get the medics.
Actually, another friend of the network, Drew, actually is in chat. He says, "Just an absolute disaster of a show. Don't know how anyone can watch this and be excited for Mania." Yeah, they certainly. Even though we know the card going in, if you're watching this show, chances are you probably know what the card's going to be. Like I always said, always believe in Uncle Dave. But the thing is, I mean, I'm not hyped about WrestleMania at all. Being at WrestleMania and what has me hyped. Being in the actual venue itself was what has me hyped.
After tonight, the one match I most hope for is the one that probably isn't going to happen now.
You're really excited about Big Show and Shaq, aren't you?
After the Big Show match tonight,
Yeah.
despite the fact that Shaq's going to be horrible, I suddenly, what I wanted to happen tonight after seeing Big Show's performance
Right.
is Big Show beat Kevin Owens and Big Show face somebody for the Universal title. So Owens can feud with Jericho for the US title, and Lesnar can feud over his career with Goldberg.
God. That's what should have happened. You know that leaked thing that came out, like the actual leaked card that came out a couple weeks ago that we talked about on the Wednesday show? I'd be a lot happier with that card.
Yeah, but I did know. I noticed Tubby Emu on YouTube had a printout of it.
Right. And a lot of misspellings and everything.
Yeah, that was the problem.
USA title.
Yeah. Unless it was the stuff that the German ring announcers. It's like. Actually, I should mention that. I need to quickly see. I don't know if it was in last week's Dave notes or this week's, but I'm gonna have a look because I need to bring it up here, and I will bring it up again on Wednesday. So apologies for like bringing it up twice, but I feel it's fucking important.
Okay.
Where is it?
This helps.
Regarding the German commentary situation, Carsten Schaefer, who's been the WWE announcer in Germany since '89, will no longer be the voice of the TV wrestling. Sebastian Hackel, who wrestled briefly as Sebastian Sage, everybody remember him? And Holger Berschen will be the Raw announcing team starting after WrestleMania. The belief is that Schaefer will relocate to America because WWE was cutting back costs on bringing a pay-per-view announcing team from Germany to America with so many shows. They've used Tim Haber and Calvin Knee, or Knai, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, who were also on tonight, who are Germans who lived in America and debuted at Elimination Chamber. But the reaction in Germany, and this will get a kick out of Owen. The reaction in Germany was that they made Art Donovan, Mike Adamle, Matt Stryker, David Otunga, Tom Phillips, and Percy Watson look like the best of Jim Ross, Lance Russell, and Gordon Soley.
Ooh, that's bad.
They had really no product knowledge. They knew none of the moves. And people on social media made fun of them all night.
I could find two guys off the street that probably could do better commentary than these guys. I could just...
So, yeah. And they missed their cue again for the German commentators bit tonight as well.
I could have just went to Germany at Epcot and found two cast members that love wrestling that probably could do a better job than these guys.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring it up, and again, I will do it on Wednesday as well.
Right.
But yeah, it was like, and here's our German if you remember when it was Elimination Chamber, it was like, here's our
Right.
German commentators, and like the guy was looking at camera and like shrugging as if to go, not knowing when his cue was, and then he was like, clearly they're not getting like any audio feed in their ear as to say, like go now sort of thing. Because
Right.
even tonight it was like, here's our German commentators, and he was looking for like the guy by the side of the camera to just like wave his hand to say go, and it was like, yeah, road to WrestleMania. It's like, you could tell they weren't even passionate about it. Even the Chinese and the Japanese guys, even though I don't understand, they're doing the passionate shit on the commentary like New Japan does every bloody show. Even the Russians, even the Portuguese, even the Spanish commentators. Hell, even the English commentators tonight sounded like they had a bit of passion. The Germans are just like, we're here getting paid. Fuck you all. We're like that Boston Red Sox fan in the front row. We'll get to him.
Yes, we will.
Then we get, after the Samoa Joe thing, we get a WrestleMania roller coaster.
I fully support this, and as I should.
I like the fact that this vertical drop must be like, from the distance that it gave you, must be going from the fucking top of the bloody Burj Tower in Dubai.
It's like The Simpsons or Despicable Me or Race to New York, starring Jimmy Fallon.
Well, you don't fall that far. And then Charlie's with Bailey asking, are you nervous? Brilliant. Yeah. Somebody's got the biggest match of their career. Are you nervous? Good old stupid questions.
I'm telling you, they're setting all the interviewers up to fail. They've been doing this for a long time now.
Enzo and Cass now come out, do their usual promo thing. They reference like the Milwaukee sports teams,
right?
Like the Bucks and whatever. And there is one fucking guy somewhere at the ringside area who's in a jacket and shirt, sort of like Peter Rosenberg, as in sort of like I guess like a Triple H sort of like corporate sort of shirt and jacket, not like a t-shirt or anything, or just like a casual jacket, like a smart wear. And as soon as they mention Milwaukee, this guy's face when Kevin Dunn cut to it, I swear he was fucking a woman, because I think we saw his orgasm face. It was just like, ah, like, all right, mate. Jesus Christ. And they said how the club looked like a couple of thumbs, so therefore they're a couple of hitchhikers, all that sort of thing, and that they're the Mr. Clean Dream Team and whatever. They'll be the realest champs in the room come the end of tonight, unless the club will be soft. Fox. So Enzo and Cass and the club wasn't too bad a match. They obviously did it predominantly Enzo getting the shit beaten out of him, and then the hot tag to Cass late on. The finish was interesting. The Empire elbow drop connected on Anderson. They managed to big boot Gallows off the apron, went for the boom shakalaka, and connected with Enzo being tagged in, so being the legal man. 1, 2, and Gallows pulls out Enzo to break the pin. So Enzo takes out. I think he like dove off the apron onto Gallows to take him down. Enzo climbs back in to the ring through the ropes, gets a damn old hefty kick from Anderson, and covers him for the pinfall close to the ropes. The referee makes his count. Enzo gets his foot on the rope. But before the referee can notice, as the count's continuing, Luke pushes the foot off the rope. They get the 3 count, and the champions retain. Pretty solid. Pretty pleased. Pleasantly pleased, I guess. It wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it could have been a bit better. Then we've got Steph on a. I was going to say Steph on a plane. So I guess technically she was. She was saying, "Oh, the plane's stuck at the airport, and the mechanics are working on it." I can't get the appropriate sound, but it was probably something like there was a metal clad. There's clearly some bastard backstage messing about with bloody metal pipes. I guess for the rigging or something. That basically made it out like, well, she clearly isn't on the tarmac. Is she? But she wants Foley to make sure that there's no interference with the title matches. I've just realised that has very much significance considering what happened in both title matches.
We'll get to that.
She then wanted to talk about Samoa Joe. And then said to Foley, "Am I on speakerphone again?" And Foley picks up the handset and goes, No, you weren't. Go on, I guess you want me to make sure that Joe doesn't interfere because Kevin wants to prove that he can win the title and retain it by himself. And Stephanie hangs up on him before she can even say anything. So, yeah. I've got a feeling that Foley's getting fired in Chicago.
He's either going to get fired or he's going, don't forget, the verbiage that she's been using lately. She basically said that you wouldn't want to have an accident. So this could go a little bit different than that, too.
Hell to pay.
Right, exactly.
So now it's time for Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks, which for about 80% was okay to average.
Right.
And then we had the interesting shit happen. So Sasha manages to get a sleeper hold with her legs on Nia. Nia powers out of it, but she manages to lock it in again and manages, I think, from there to turn it into a DDT. I think. There was some spot which he turned into a DDT. I know that much.
That's what I'm seeing in the write-up here.
Locked on the bank statement. And Nia was obviously lifting her arm as if she's going to go and going to tap, but just powered out of it. Took her out. I don't think she gave her a Samoan drop. She gave her some sort of move. Might have been just a body slam style thing. Or a sort of what was it? The bloody fifth. What was the challenge? It would be the body slam, wouldn't it? Just slamming her on the. Well, she landed on her back because then Nia did the leg drop on Sasha's back, and part of me was going, "Please don't do a Cameron. Please don't do a Cameron." Thankfully, that wasn't the end of it because she got her, picked her up, made it look like she was like, swinging her about from her hair, but basically she was just grabbing her wrists. Picked her up on her shoulders, went for the Samoan drop. Sasha reversed it into a roll up and bridged it with the whole draping over the top of it.
I have to see this move to see what you're saying.
Got the 3 count. And it was sort of the same way that Kendrick did it. You know how they do the whole deal where they like hold their legs, like Billy Goat's Curse style, but a pin?
Right.
She bridged it.
Well,
like figure eight sort of. Her hands are on the mat sort of thing, backwards.
It sounds like you're describing a rolling prawn hold. But I'd have to see it for myself.
Yeah. Well, they won't show it because they'll milk the shit out of all that being only available on the network.
That's what I'm watching right now, actually.
I'm trying to work out whether we're just about in time for that. I think so. It must be that match around now.
No, actually, it's Zayn and Joe, but I went back and watched the actual.
Oh, of course, yeah. I forgot they didn't start immediately because of Raw talk and all that.
Yes.
But yeah, the finish was actually pretty nice for a match that I wasn't really enthusiastic about going into. So I guess that's somewhat of a pleasant surprise. I'm trying to see if I can get the notes myself of Dave himself. Dave himself put the notes up on F4W.
Nia has a modified torture rack on Sasha right now.
Okay. Pinned her with an O'Connor roll after rolling off her back with a Samoan drop. So it was an O'Connor roll, but she bridged it.
That's a rolling prawn hold.
Yeah. Well, Dave doesn't say it, so you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong, because Bob Backlund used to use that.
That's why I was laughing.
Yes. Suplex counter. Sleeper on the back. Yeah, I'm trying to watch this match a little bit.
Owen's doing live, not play-by-play.
If you want play-by-play, there is Popcast that exists where I do just that.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Can't wait for Friday.
Oh, I'm excited for Friday.
Or to be quite honest, tomorrow, because tomorrow it will be back to the old style. Owen can actually tell you what happened in the match rather than me just give you the basic gist of the finish and some of the nice spots and whatever. So, but yeah, I mean that I think was pretty much the first hour of the show,
right?
Give or take, because then they recapped the whole Rusev and Jinder thing. So Jinder comes out first, followed by Rusev, who's got a pretty dashing haircut. In all honesty, I think Lana may or may not have been in stockings. I should have been paying more attention, but I wasn't, because for some stupid reason I was paying attention to the wrestling than the hot American woman. Who knew? So here comes Cesaro in a bloody gold lame jacket. And then Sheamus in a t-shirt and waistcoat.
He looks really Claudio in this gear.
Claudio strips off because he's wrestling, and Sheamus just walks to the back. They did his entrance for him to just say hi and then walk to the back, and that was his job done for the night. Right?
Sure.
But as much as I've ragged on Jinder for quite a while, I don't know whether I should be ragging on him still. Cesaro made him look good.
Yeah. I mean,
They had a pretty good match.
Jinder's a good hand anyway. He can definitely put together a competent wrestling
especially
match.
now that he looks like he's on roids.
Oh boy, they really need to knock
He's taking Ryback supplements, I think.
He's got Lex Lovett on the speed dial, and that is not a good thing to have.
Yeah. But yeah, for some reason Mahal got distracted because it was Rusev and him brawled because they were like, I want to go first, and they brawled around ringside, and he gave Rusev a pretty stiff head kick. Well, sorry, no, it was a knee strike that knocked him over the barrier into the timekeeper's area, and that's what led to the Cesaro thing. By the end of it, Rusev's recovering, leaning on the Spanish announce table, and this apparently distracts Jinder enough to allow him to get I think from what I could see, a 7-foot high Swiss uppercut.
So it literal Swiss death this time around.
Yeah. Air Swiss. Literally. Although not an actual aeroplane, because it was probably stuck on the bloody runway at Milwaukee Airport.
Oh boy.
I wonder if there's some people that phoned up the airport and go, is there something wrong? A plane stuck at the airport? Somebody, Stephanie McMahon, I wonder if somebody was that gullible. Please tell me there was. So, Rusev takes Jinder, beats the shit out of him, culminating in a Mashka kick. And then, it's the Slim Show. Because, holy shit. Not only did he look good, but it's like, from all this lost weight, it's like he's wrestling better. Show dominated for the early part of it. And Rusev tried to basically just go, okay, I'll take the count out, loss. But Show stopped him. There was one bit as well when I've been corrected that it's actually a final cut. But at the first time, it was like he actually did the Scorpion Death Drop. He's going back to his WCW roots.
How many times he lost to that move in those matches against Sting on the house show circuit that went like 6 minutes? Yeah, I think he would know how to do it.
So Rusev turns the tables. I think he goes for the Show goes for the spear, but Rusev sort of spears him back, but tackles him in the knee.
I don't know if you'd still call that a harpoon or not.
No.
Not with the size. Maybe with Big Show, maybe it's just like a more muscular version of such.
He didn't hit it, you see.
Right.
If he hit it, you could probably call it a Brody.
Nice.
Oh no! What? Oh, the fucking name of the actor? Call it a Robert Shaw.
that's too much to say.
If it connected, it would have been a Robert Shaw. It'd be like he's dead. But yeah, Rusev tackled him in the knee. Then obviously worked on it for quite a bit, and then sort of did like a somewhat of a leg bar. It sort of looked like he was trying to give him a figure four with his arm, sort of thing. basically the aim was put pressure on the knee. But Big Show just lifted up his other leg and smacked the back of his knee right in the face and the nose of Rusev. Clearly playing on the whole, he broke his nose sort of thing. Which is very well done. Then we got to him, Show going for a choke slam. But Rusev managed to get out of it, tackle his knee. He fell, he dropped to his knees, as if he was like, dead sort of thing. Then got 3 in quick succession Mashka kicks. 1, 2, kicks out. And Rusev's like, 3 Mashka kicks! He can't get it. He doesn't understand. So he goes, Rusev, crash! So goes for the accolade. Big Show powers out of it before it can even get close to locked on. Gives him a choke slam. Doesn't pin him. Gives him a second choke slam. Doesn't pin him. Gives him a third choke slam. He drags him to the corner. Puts his head on the bottom turnbuckle. Gives him a KO punch. Pulls him to the middle of the ring. 3 count. And Big Show looks like a fucking monster again. And he's a face. I think.
No, I think he's a face. Got no idea what they're doing with Mania.
Because, we know how he flip-flops. He's a face for now. But, I was really impressed. It's like, I think Show's going all out because I shouldn't say how long he's got in this world, but how long he's got in a job as a active wrestler.
Honestly, with everything, with all the hype that everybody has put behind it, and it was okay. At this point, if Shaq can't work the actual match at Mania, why don't we just do Big Show against Strowman again?
Because he showed he could go with him. And because Strowman fucked up the finish, that's why Big Show should win the rubber. Then Enzo's fucking some chicken.
He's still doing that?
They keep showing that KFC commercial stuff, yeah.
Oh my God.
Probably because, it's going to be a main sponsor, I'm guessing, for WrestleMania. Because they want that mainstream shit, don't they? They've already got Snickers, so, So then we've got 28 days to WrestleMania with Pitbull. He's fucking Greek.
God, I can't believe it's that soon. That's crazy. You wouldn't know it if you watch wrestling.
Otherwise, your 30 days wouldn't include WrestleMania for free.
I mean, you wouldn't know it if you watched television.
I'm conflicted because I want people to watch WrestleMania for free and then cancel. But the problem is you'll still show up in WWE's figures for people having watched the network.
Yep.
To be honest, because you now know your main event for the Universal title, try and watch it via other means if you can. Don't try and encourage WWE to make it happen again for 34.
No, they're going to get Cena against Undertaker.
I don't think they are.
Which we should have gotten.
I honestly think they're going to do Sting versus Taker.
I'd rather have that.
Because I honestly think, because Sting never said, he said, "See you around," didn't he?
Yeah.
It's not goodbye. So he's left it open to he could be showing up again. And remember, Goldberg retired,
Right.
Lesnar retired, they came back. Hell, Macho Man came back. That was 25 years ago. So then we got Charlie with Owens. And she says, it's your biggest match of your career. And goes, biggest match of my career? Okay. I'll take that in mind, but think about it. Goldberg beat Brock Lesnar 4 months ago in 86 seconds. But how many people has he beaten in the past 12 months? One person. How many people has he beaten in the last 5 years? One person. How many people has he beaten in the last 12 years? One person. And me, I've gone through tons of people. And I will not let a man with no respect for me to take my belt. I'm the champ because I'm the best. And the Kevin Owens show will be going for as long as I want. Damn good promo. Fucking wasted because Vince McMahon likes a big sweaty man. Apparently.
It's ridiculous.
He wants to be a superhero to his son. We'll get to his son. Because he's a key factor, in my opinion, of the way that match went. But first, let's get to the best match of the night. And this is where Owen can actually sort of come in with some thoughts properly. Gallagher versus... sorry, let me say it right. Neville!
What's funny, Ashley, Logan mentions, but Goldberg and Lesnar didn't have a serious injury like Sting does.
Yeah, but a lot can heal in 2 years.
True.
Yeah, he was injured, Night of Champions 2015?
Yeah.
So that would have been 6 months to Mania last year?
Mm-hmm.
It's now 18 months. WrestleMania isn't till... Do we even know if it's... It can't be April the 1st next year, can it?
WrestleMania 34?
Yeah, because April the 1st, from what I believe, because I heard it in Blompier's facts about the WrestleManias, April the 1st this year is Easter Sunday.
April the 1st is my mom's birthday.
So that means WrestleMania go head-to-head with, Jesus resurrecting himself.
WrestleMania next year will be held on April 8th.
They're doing it the week after Easter. Makes sense. Yep. So it'll be one of the latest Manias that there's been, probably.
Yeah. Well, in recent time, for sure.
Just because it's only because it falls on Easter Sunday, the first April and the first Sunday in April. So that's the only reason why. Because thinking about it as well, if it's Easter and it's New Orleans, that'd be murder.
Oh, yeah.
Mardi Gras is a pretty damn big thing at the start of Lent. What the shit would they be doing at the end of Lent?
That's a fair point.
So yeah, Gallagher and this match. This match was so good. Bloody Neville had to go back to his old finishing move because his new finishing moves and other finishing moves that he just made up, like doing a German suplex and dropping them on their head.
That
I
looked
don't know
nasty.
whether that was a sick ass. I don't know whether that was a sick, distasteful tribute to what happened in Japan this weekend. I hope not.
I doubt it.
It's just the way it happened. It was like, ow.
I mean, don't forget that's what.
And then straight after just dropping him on his head, oh yeah, do a Phoenix splash off the second rope.
Yeah, this was. I mean, this was good stuff.
Damn good.
Gallagher for the red card hit the first one. Neville kind of no-sold it a bit, but he hit a harder one, and Neville went down.
Again, sort of like Big Show. After that headbutt, he just like fell to his knees and just like sold it like death. It was like, man, that was good selling, Neville. Neville.
But Neville ended up outsmarting Gallagher, and he ended up going, like you said, Ashley, going back to his Adrian Neville roots and his Pac roots to hit the red arrow to get the win. And I love the sell. The sell made this move for me. The second he hit Gallagher, he Rob Van Dammed it. He basically did a handspring and like a handstand and sold and flipped on his back. I like that a lot, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the build up here, the fact that it actually was believable Gallagher could actually win. And when he hit the red card the second time, he got a really, really good near fall. The crowd really bought on. There's some good stuff here in this match. I enjoyed it. So let's talk about the New Day and their bicycle.
Oh. Well, not just that. Did you notice the other little quirk about them now?
No, they're not dressed like the juicy, the fruit stripe gum anymore. They're dressed like tigers.
No, the other thing.
Francesca is now painted green. The microphones are multicolored.
No. The thing that is different to every other WWE microphone that you've seen in the past 10 years.
Well, it felt very WCW-like, I will say that.
Xavier had a green mic cover.
Right.
Biggie had a blue mic cover.
Yep.
And Kofi had a red mic cover. They had actual individual mic foam, the covers that go on top of the microphones. They had different colored covers.
Yeah, I mean, they used to do that in the NWA back in the day, and they're also the same colors of the New Day Pops t-shirts.
That's obviously why,
Right.
Xavier's green. Big E's blue. Which I think is some sort of reference to bloody... Oh.
You can make a lot of
French
references.
film director that did the French film director that did the big blue. Can't even remember off the top of my head. Kofi being red, I don't know. But yeah, they've basically teased the pops. From the design of the thing, it just looks like pleasantly. They're not like ice pop style. It looks like they're going to be sort of like, I guess, like a sorbet.
Yeah,
there's like an ice lolly, like the stuff you make at home.
Well, here, Ashley, I don't know if you have them in the UK, but they have something that is basically SpongeBob's head, and there's like bubblegum flavored eyes, and they're basically ice cream bars is pretty much what they are, but they're not, if that makes any sense. I think that's what they look like they're going to be. They look like they're going to be somewhat ice cream bars, but they're not going to be ice cream. And if anything, they could end up being popsicles, and that's a possibility too. But I think it's more of an ice cream bar, at least that's what it looks like to me.
I don't think they're going to be, from what I can tell from at least from that little sticker on the side, they're going to be sort of like lolly popsicle things. Because what I was fearing it was going to be is over here we've got the bloody, and they've probably got them over here, which they don't have sticks, but they're just like sort of like about the thickness of like Brighton Rock, the sweet and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they're about like a foot or so long, and you basically just snip the plastic off the top and you just like eat it or suck on it. Let's get ready to suck it.
Hey, to be honest, if you're going to give me multi-flavored popsicles with the New Day, as much as I like the New Day, I really do. They've kind of run its course a little bit, but they're building up a little bit more with these New Day pops and the various things they've done with like the Pop Rocks chocolate bars and the Booty O's cereal. I mean, they're building that up again. But if you want to sell me multi-flavored like popsicles with the New Day face on them, with Xavier, Biggie, and Kofi at WrestleMania, I'm buying, without a doubt. I'll sip and snack on location. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this is what it is now, I guess.
Apparently.
Since they're not going to be working at Mania, they're just going to be hosting the show. So, all right, sure. And
that's interesting. You probably won't be seeing Dwayne at Mania.
How's that?
Australia gets Fast and Furious 8, as it's known over here, but as it's being known everywhere else, the Fate of the Furious.
Right.
It's opening in America April 14th, but in Australia it's opening April 12th. I guess it's possible he could fly over, obviously, later that week, but I think they're probably going to try to push the shit out of it. So
he doesn't have to be there. He'll be at Mania.
I don't think Vin Diesel will be there.
Yeah, that storyline didn't go anywhere.
He'll be saving himself for Groot because he'll realize he'll make more money that way.
Let's talk about, speaking of Groot, let's talk about Roman Reigns against Braun Strowman.
Oh, no, I wanted to note that apparently the WWE Jetsons film is not rated. So how the hell can people watch it if it's not rated?
I guess
that's a bit.
I guess as
it's
good
not
as
even
mine.
Rated like E for everyone or something.
I have no idea.
Then Charlie's got special guest Paul Heyman. And basically hints Brock may show up, he may not. Depends what he wants to do. But the only winner tonight is Brock, because if Goldberg wins, Goldberg loses the belt at WrestleMania to Lesnar. But if Owens wins, Brock knows what chink in the armor he can use and capitalize on to beat Lesnar. Goldberg at Mania. So either way, it's win-win for his client, Brock Lesnar. So then, the New Day stuff, which you covered. And then, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman. The match that was pretty good-ish.
It was all right.
It was better than I thought it was going to be, but it wasn't as good as it could have been.
No, it was. They definitely held back a lot. You could tell. So, this is think it'd be. Big man match. They gave it way too long, but I understand because it's a big match that you have to put over. Strowman in the upper hand, hit the Yokosuka cutter, which I guess he uses every once in a while. I think I've seen him do it a couple of times. They go to the outside. Reigns gets the upper hand. He gets the drive-by. He goes for the spear through the barricade. Roman hits the running power slam through the announce table, which apparently is not the table. Not this week. It could be still this week, but not tonight. So Roman rolled back in the ring, and when Strowman takes the time to get back in, Reigns hits the spear, kicks out, Superman punch. Strowman basically no-sells it. He goes for it again. Strowman's not going down for anything. Roman goes for a tackle. Strowman just basically runs him over. And Strowman goes up top for a big splash. Roman moves out of the way, and Reigns hits a spear and gets the win. Here's the thing. The weird thing about this match is I didn't hate it. I'll give him that. It wasn't great, but it was serviceable for what it had to do. For Roman winning clean, I think this is a mistake. I don't like Braun Strowman. I don't think Ashley likes Braun Strowman. A lot of people listening to this network don't like Braun Strowman, but I know a lot of you out there do. And I understand what they're trying to do with building Braun Strowman as an unstoppable monster. You don't have him lose to Roman Reigns, especially when not only Roman is rocking his swank laser tag vest, but he's wearing tennis shoes now. Black and white tennis shoes instead of wrestling boots. He's like Dark Cena.
Despite his shit pants, I now have to say that Braun has gained credibility in me. He isn't wearing fucking tennis shoes.
No, he's wearing gear. He still looks like he's from the Truth Commission, but he's wearing gear.
Something I didn't know, because it's just in today's daily update. Apparently Luke Hawk was in bloody Logan.
Haven't seen it, wouldn't know.
Didn't even notice. So, good job, Luke. Forgot you.
So Roman wins. Depending on who you believe at this point, if you believe the list that's gotten out, which is probably going to be incorrect, Roman is on a collision course with Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn for the U.S. title. Or if you believe what seems to be more likely, Roman is getting ready to collide with The Undertaker, which will quite literally make him Diesel, just like I've been saying for months. And I think if Roman faces The Undertaker, I think that Taker will win to humble him, to be honest. And that would lead to Undertaker getting the win and Roman showing up on Raw after WrestleMania and finally turning heel. I mean, that makes the most sense. Probably the reason why it won't happen. That's the only reason I can think of that Roman would win. Roman has to stay strong in a time that right now he's not at all. He's starting to get a little bit more of a favorable reaction from the crowd. It's took long enough, but he's still getting a little bit more of a reaction than he was. He's having serviceable matches. The signs point to him facing The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Braun Strowman, as of this moment, has no opponent, has no storyline, has no direction. So if you want to judge from that perspective, it makes complete sense why Roman would win clean. However, if you judge by how Braun has been booked recently, I would say it makes no sense. This should have been some sort of a DQ, maybe a double count out, maybe a double disqualification. I mean, we could have went any way with this. There was no interference. I mean, it was just straight up clean. So for everybody that believed there was something behind the Fastlane DVD cover information getting let out this week, no, not the case whatsoever. No Undertaker sighting on this show. I guess we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We got a couple weeks to WrestleMania. I can't believe I'm saying that. So I mean, we got to build a card. And even though we here on the Popcast Network seem like we know the card because, like I said, don't deny Uncle Dave, things can change. Obviously, the stuff they're doing on SmackDown Live with AJ Styles and the WWE Championship is making things a lot more interesting than they were. But like I said, that's also custom made for AJ and Shane to actually happen. But we'll get to that on Wednesday. But we're moving on now to Mick Foley with Samoa Joe in the back.
Was this where we had the advert for bloody Ride Along tomorrow?
Oh my God! Yeah, Ride Along looks amazing. This new season of Ride Along.
As Dave noted in the write-up, the two most underrated cars in the history of the world.
Oh my
Because
God!
in one
Yes.
car would be Cesaro and Seth Rollins, and the other car would be Sami Zayn and Neville.
Yep.
Basically, it's the Ring of Honor car and the insert British promotion car.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where the correlation between El Generico and Pac was. So
They probably did both stuff on one PW
that
by
makes
Alex Shane. That worked, didn't it? And it died 10 years ago. That worked. I hope he. Oh, I guess he will be on commentary with Matt Striker tomorrow. Fuck. We just have Dave Bradshaw and Matt Striker, please. Please.
I just don't get. I get the finish, but I don't get the finish. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, Bailey and Charlotte. The
Oh,
one thing I will note, and might as well mention it here because
I
we'll
hate
just rant
this.
about the main event.
Okay, we're gonna
The
rant about
champions
what
came out last for every single match.
Good. That's how it should be.
They lived up to the actual, unofficial rules. Yeah, it was interesting because Dana got dismissed before she could even come down the ramp. Charlotte saying, "I've got this. I don't need you." Which is interesting because apparently nobody needs her because she finished last at the Arnold Classic.
It's crazy.
Woo! It's not about the taking part. It's about the losing. Badly.
Yeah.
Why the fuck do you do poses on a giant sofa shoe? What the fuck is up with that? Oof. This got weird towards the end. It was a really, really solid match and was proving to be good.
Crowd just did not care one bit, Ashley.
Well, that's sort of the problem, but not really, because Sasha comes out and interferes when it looks as if Bayley's going to have it won anyway.
Right.
Charlotte sorts out her. I think that was the key thing. Charlotte attacked Sasha. That's what they were making it out to be. And then Sasha noted that Charlotte had a handful of tights. And then Bayley connected with the Bayley to belly, and the streak is over. Bayley's retained. The entire WrestleMania division seemed to be fucking ruined.
Well, here's another thing. Like I said, this match had no heat. It was decent.
I said Divas division for a reason, because this angle stank like a Divas angle. Just like bloody Maurice interfering for no real reason in the Natalia Nikki Bella stuff from a few weeks back.
I don't get this at all. Okay. So let's say you're a general wrestling fan. And you cheer the faces, boo the heels. That's just how it works. And you're exactly what WWE's looking for. and you know about WrestleMania, and you know it's coming up. Maybe you are aware of the branded pay-per-views, maybe you're not. There are a lot of people that are fans of this division still out there clinging to the hope that it's going to get back to prominence, like what's been going on SmackDown lately, unless you get rid of the stuff with Nikki and Natalya, and now the stuff with Nikki and Maurice, which is a lot more of a storyline than anything else. And then you look at it from the perspective that you have everything going on all at once. Well, the problem here at this point is everybody has worked everybody so many times on the roster that it doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't. We've seen everything over and over again. And that's the problem here. You have a lot of people, like I said, that didn't even know Fastlane was tonight. And they were like, oh, WrestleMania's coming up. Well, wait a minute. I thought Bayley was the champion. Oh, she is the champion. I was like, what about Charlotte winning? Because everybody knows she always wins on pay-per-view. They blew off that whole storyline on a pay-per-view that most people didn't even watch. That makes no sense. Bayley getting the win on Charlotte, that made no sense. And I complained about it on the podcast when it happened. People were mad at me because I was like, oh, and just give it a chance. It was Cleveland and Aaron that were getting mad at me for being mad about that storyline. Because I said, I don't understand why the title changed hands. Either of the women's title matches changed hands because they made no sense going forward. Now, I don't advocate injuries to anyone, but Naomi getting hurt and them having to flip the title back to Alexa Bliss, that's fine because that's a storyline that works. But this, on the other hand, Bayley's big moment should have been in Orlando at WrestleMania in a one-on-one match against Sasha Banks. That should have been the original storyline. But if this was going to be Charlotte, and Charlotte's big pay-per-view streak was the big deal, then they should have blown it off at WrestleMania with Bayley winning clean, good triumphing over evil, another stick it to Daniel Bryan storyline, which Ashley has to bring up every single week because it's just there, and it's true. But
I can't help it if they keep doing every single storyline like it's a bloody... I guess that's one thing that we have to give respect for.
Right.
Daniel Bryan would not want anything to do with a bloody Brock versus Goldberg match. We got something that isn't anything to do with Daniel Bryan whatsoever.
This is true. But
no, hang on, I take it back. Sheamus in 17 seconds. Fuck.
God. So don't get me started on that. I already complained about that on a podcast. That's available on this network. The thing is, I will say right now that this could have been Sasha's turn. I think they're holding it off. They're going to have to do it on Raw, or they could just do it the Raw after WrestleMania, where they have Sasha come in and congratulate Bayley for winning the championship. Oh, wait a minute. They already screwed that up. And they're going with a very much unneeded four-way with Nia Jax, who has no right being in this being a title contention right now, and Charlotte right now, who needs to be away from the championship and away from the whole title picture, and even move to SmackDown at this point, just so she can be freshened up a little bit. The SmackDown division is on fire right now. I mean, there's a lot of really good storylines, really good cohesive things. Raw is just business as usual. There's a lot of talent that are being underutilized right now, and I just don't like the way this is happening. It makes no sense. You build up these streaks. I know it's professional wrestling. I know streaks don't matter as much as they used to. But when you build up a streak, and then you start to see problems that they're going to get rid of it. And then they're like, no, they're going to keep it going a little bit longer. And the New Day have been tag team champions for what? Oh, yeah, 6 years. Okay, fine. They're trying to break San Martino's record. The thing is, I get that. That's fine. No, completely understandable. I understand why people win championships to break records because people are no longer in the company or they want nothing to do with them, basically, politically or in general. I get why they do that. It makes sense. But from a business standpoint, I mean, it's really petty, but it makes sense. This right here doesn't make any sense. I think, honestly, Ashley, they had to do this because everybody and their mother was saying that Charlotte was just going to win. And the real swerve here was, oh, no, Charlotte's not going to win. We're going to take this monumental streak of a woman who has been able to dominate nothing but pay-per-view matches, always loses on television, but dominates pay-per-view matches, and you don't blow it off at the Royal Rumble, you don't blow it off at SummerSlam, you don't blow it off at Survivor Series, you don't blow it off at WrestleMania. Oh no, you blow this storyline that you actually were building up at a secondary pay-per-view that probably half of your audience didn't even watch. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect not sense.
Yeah. Logan says it's like Asuka. She's getting close to Goldberg's streak. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna see Asuka beating like jobbers in like 2 seconds, and they're gonna inflate. Like one day on Nitro, you had Goldberg beat 15 guys. The next week on Nitro, Goldberg is now at like 40 guys. Apparently, during the house show circuit, Goldberg beat like 13, 15 guys. Oh, I can't do math, you know that. So when it comes down to it, Asuka is going to be brought up sooner rather than later. At this point, I think I don't care anymore because they have made me not care about a character like Bayley. Bayley could be the ultimate babyface in the women's division by giving her the championship in such an unimportant way. They have completely ruined her. Her reaction tonight was not nearly as big as it should have been.
If she gets no reaction other than bloody JoJo saying from San Jose,
right?
Extreme Rules. So I think that's the next Raw one.
I think so, yeah.
If there's no reaction to that, that tells you everything. Everything.
I just hate this so much. It devalues the championship. I don't have a problem with Bayley winning it. It devalues the streak, which it seemed like it was important. It's pro wrestling. It doesn't have to be important, but they were building it up to be important. And they're basically, with doing this, saying, oh, no, it's not important at all. It doesn't matter. It's just another accolade. It doesn't matter. Let's take the title off of Charlotte on television and then have her win it back on pay-per-view. Stupid, but makes sense for the storyline. But instead of doing that, they swerved everyone by having Bayley win, which is fine, but it makes no sense. You can't do the big win for Bayley now at WrestleMania. It's impossible. You've deleted that option permanently.
Delete.
Yes. You have ruined another storyline that you could have worked with, and it's because nonsensical booking from the Raw writing staff, which is absolutely abysmal right now. The whole Raw brand needs a complete overhaul, but we know that's not going to happen. Yes, Logan, I completely agree with you. It just blows my mind, Ashley. It just does. We'll get to what really blows my mind in a real minute, but I want to talk about this match first.
Oh yeah, this thing that I feared would happen as soon as the match started. The Universal title, Goldberg versus Owens. The key thing to know, Owens keeps getting in and out the ring.
without the bell even ringing.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, no. And all of a sudden, after 3 or 4 minutes of teasing, just so the show could go over the 3 hours, to justify them actually having the extra time if they need it, he comes in, waves his hands, and like, yeah, come on, ring the bell, ring it now, ring it now. Jericho's music hits. And after 7 or 8 seconds of when, Chris has already come out, the referee decides to just ring the bell. Despite the fact that somebody's come out to act as a distraction. Q Spear, Q Jackhammer, Q Goldberg is now Universal Champion.
This is so freaking stupid. This is so freaking stupid.
Q Jericho walking out. Q Goldberg going over to his son, and his son looks fucking bored out of his skull.
Continuity be damned.
Really
Chris
means that his
Jericho,
dad's a champion now.
Chris Jericho, who absolutely hates Goldberg, like in general, helped Goldberg win in all essence. That says something. So let me get this straight. From a perspective, this is going to be where Owen goes off, obviously. But from a sensical purpose, you have a Universal title match at WrestleMania against somebody that was your best friend. They turned their back on you, and you want ultimate revenge. Why in the blue hell would you cost him the title? You see, that makes no sense from a storyline perspective. If I'm guaranteed a match against the champion, why would I cost the champion the title? I have now negated a shot at the championship just so I can get revenge. That makes no sense.
Well, it sort of does if you think about it. Because who has the belt?
Right now, Goldberg.
In their friendship now.
Neither of them.
No.
Well, Jericho's got
still
the belt.
US champ, remember?
He's still US champion, but I mean, here's the thing. So we could have done, they weren't going to do that, but we could have done WrestleMania 6, title versus title. Obviously, it's the Intercontinental title in that storyline. But the World Championship and the US Championship have been in the same match before. I believe that was Goldberg versus Raven, wasn't it?
I think something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So we've done this before. So we could have had Owens and Jericho, a storyline that actually has heat on it right now, a storyline that actually is going to lead to a solid wrestling match, a storyline that would have both men have a championship, the winner gets both. And then Owens would have extreme bragging rights. Not only is he a double champion, but he ran Chris Jericho out of WWE and all the way back to music again. It's a storyline that feeds Owens' ego, and it feeds his character very well. But just because he says, you can't have this title, so I'm going to embarrass you, I'm going to cause you to lose your championship. Oh, wait a minute. What have I done? I screwed you over, but I now screwed myself over because I don't have a title shot anymore. The US title is a nice thing to have, but I want the big belt. I want the Universal Championship. And now I've completely screwed myself out of it because I wanted petty revenge. And not only did I do that, but I may dislike you and I may really want to see you fail for everything that you did to me. But in essence, I have made somebody that I despise more and have despised longer the champion. Continuity, this makes no sense at all. None. And like I said, like I said at the beginning of the show, you're just gonna be Owen. You're just an Owens mark, and guilty as charged. But this makes no sense from a business perspective. Having your main event of your biggest show of the year, where you need to bring in the general public to get people to buy the network, get people to buy tickets to the show, and ergo buy merchandise, buy like concessions and everything. You have it between two guys that pretty much anybody knows. It's like Rock and Cena all over again. It's not going to be what Rock and Cena was a great match, but people didn't want to see them work anymore. Goldberg and Lesnar has been so one-sided that you know what Brock's going to do, and you know it's going to be another short match, and then we feel like we're watching a boxing pay-per-view from the 90s. I pay $50 to watch a match that ends in 3 minutes, if that. Obviously, Owens and Jericho has more heat, and it's going to be a better wrestling match. But that's not what matters, apparently, because they don't make enough merch money, and they don't put the asses in the seats like Brock and Goldberg do. I mean, it's that part-timers club mentality. I mean, I hate being that guy, but I mean, you need to have your big main event of your biggest show of the year be on the guys that are going to be there tomorrow. And I don't mean the Raw after WrestleMania or the SmackDown after WrestleMania. I mean, are going to be there consistently. And then you have a Universal Championship, which, whether it's on Goldberg or Lesnar, is not going to be defended. And I'm not going to bring up the 30-day thing because that's always been sporadic at best. But it's not going to be defended on the house. It's definitely not going to be on house shows. And it's barely going to be on pay-per-view. So, I mean, there's a lot of flaws in this just so Vince can get his big Brock Goldberg match. Fine. Owens was a comedy joke after they made him a badass in NXT. When he won the championship, he could have been Hunter's hired gun. And now he's like third down to Samoa Joe. And if they want to create a new authority, a new stable with Hunter at the helm, that makes sense. But you have to make Owens a killer again. You have to get that killer instinct back. And he had it for a while. The Owens and Jericho stuff was really fun, but I wanted to see badass Kevin Steen again. And we got a little bit of that. And then they just squashed him in minutes to Goldberg just because they wanted that match and they were going to do anything regardless who wanted it. I'm just agitated with the direction this company's going right now, knowing that I finally get to go to WrestleMania. But actually the card, I know we're just fantasy booking right now. We do this every single week here on this show and on Wednesday and when we do pay-per-view podcasts as well. But the thing about it is, it's just if WrestleMania had the card that the fans wanted and one that made sense, it would be a lot better than having to watch the part-timer show again. I like what they're doing with Cena and Miz. I do. I think it's got a lot of heat to it. First WrestleMania, I wouldn't mind seeing John Cena in a suitable singles match. Cena and the Miz, that's fine. Let Nikki and Maurice be valets at ringside. I'd have no issue. Let them get involved at the finish or set it up, but let it be a match between Cena and Miz. Cena has to face the Miz because the Miz won last time. It didn't matter how he won; it's just that he did win. Cena's got to get his win back, and the Miz has to prove his dominance. It doesn't have to have the women involved. I understand why it does. I understand that's the point. The stuff they're doing on SmackDown, we'll talk about on Wednesday. But the Raw stuff is just, it's unacceptable. I feel like as a fan that this, like you said, Ashley, you've said it all along, this WrestleMania is not going to be, it's not going to be great. There'll be great matches, but overall, it's probably going to be one of those things that's going to be, This wasn't one of the better WrestleManias. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But they have given me no reason to care whatsoever. I do not care one iota about the WrestleMania card right now. And with what happened at Ring of Honor last night, I'd much rather be going to Ring of Honor, going to Supercard of Honor on the weekend of WrestleMania. I'm going to Takeover. Takeover's going to be a solid show. But right now, if I could do it all over again, I would have went to Ring of Honor. Because that seems like that's the hot product right now, at least in the States, because of what they're doing. WWE has been super stagnant for the longest time, and you know this as well as anyone. If it wasn't for NXT, I probably would have tapped out a long time ago. Because the Raw brand is just so frustrating.
Yeah, it's getting to a point where it's like I don't have enough confidence to go for SmackDown either, though.
Right. They make mistakes too.
I think in the short term it's better, but in the long term I think there isn't enough.
There's not enough guys in the roster
there either. It's all going tits up, pose down, west side.
Yeah, like I said, WrestleMania, the pageantry, the atmosphere, just being there is going to be amazing. Being there for the Raw after WrestleMania, the SmackDown after WrestleMania, it's going to be electric. And I know things are going to happen on the Raw and SmackDown show that are going to be memorable. I know there's things that's going to happen at WrestleMania that's going to be memorable. But I don't want to be sitting in my club seats twiddling my thumbs because I'm not entertained, as Sheamus would say, because he rips off Russell Crowe.
Well, probably.
It's just, I don't get vocal like this extremely often, but it's basically because this is just unacceptable. WWE needs to give us better programming, and they're not, going to anytime soon. You want to make an impact with Goldberg, I get that. You want to make Goldberg and Lesnar your big draw match, I get that. Does anyone think it's going to go more than like 10 minutes, if that? No. Maybe 5, maybe less, who knows? Doesn't matter. That's not why a lot of fans are there. Some fans are. They want to see Goldberg live. Been there, done that. They want to see Brock Lesnar live. Been there, done that. It's just they want to see him face off one more time. But be careful what you wish for, universe. You got what you wanted. And now we're all going to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get off my soapbox now and let you talk.
I sort of understand why they've done it. I feel it's the wrong move as to what they actually did.
It's totally the wrong move.
But I think they just wanted the fact they want to stay loyal to Goldberg, so they let him. I am now intrigued though, because whether it's still going to have like a career stipulation on it now.
There's no reason to now. You got the title on the line. There's no reason to have a career stipulation now.
But then that leaves me intrigued as to what if Goldberg wins at Mania?
Either way, we're not going to have a champion.
What if, I'm just wondering now whether Goldberg wins and retains. Because I somehow think that itch is back in him. And if Goldberg can do occasional appearances and matches, why couldn't Goldberg do the same? If Lesnar can get it, that treatment.
Right, but I mean, then you got to figure out who's going to take the title off of him.
Well, it depends if they actually try to bother to actually turn Roman. Because that's the weird thing. If Roman turns actually proper heel on Goldberg, all the people that booed him could actually cheer for him.
A rejuvenated Roman Reigns as a heel, like I said, doing the Kevin Nash Diesel gimmick from back in the day, I would say, and you know what I mean when I say that. Obviously, he's not going to be like power bombing people or anything like that. I mean, he does that, but still, I mean, you know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
If you had a heel Roman show up at SummerSlam and take the title off Goldberg, I wouldn't have an issue with that. But I mean, I just don't like what they did. Owens' title reign was, I was happy that he got it. He totally deserved it. But I mean, they treated it like garbage. They treated it like what they did with Punk. There's a lot of comparisons between their title reigns. Owens was made to look like he was inferior to everybody. And if you would have taken the NXT version of Kevin Owens and gave him the Universal Championship, I know it's the same person. I get that, but it's the different like tinge of the character. It would have been a lot more impactful. And you would give Kevin Steen a shot at beating Goldberg. But what they've done with Kevin Owens, turning him into basically a comedy character, maybe not so much. But I mean, that's just the way that they've been booking him, honestly. I mean, now Owens and Jericho will be for the U.S. title. Owens will win the U.S. championship and probably feud with Sami Zayn again, which is what the WrestleMania main event should have been. But I mean, that's over. It's not happening now. We gotta like move on and figure out where we're going from here. And I think that's the direction we're headed. And I'm not happy about it.
We'll just have to roll with the punches, I guess. So
Yeah,
let's see what happens on Raw tomorrow as to
I'm very curious about that, to be
whether
honest.
there's anything that can actually please you in terms of you going. I mean, well, no, we got the obvious one, but the Owens versus Jericho. It's a shame it's for the wrong belt.
Yeah, it's definitely for the wrong belt. We'll see. I mean, like I said, it's all about being there. It's not about necessarily if it's going to be a great show or not. I can assure you, once we get back that night, if I have to bury WrestleMania as a show, not as a live experience, I will. I'm fully ready to if that's what it comes to. But I mean, it's just the fact that being there that gives it, like I said here before we started, like I know you're not big on Impact. I get that completely. A lot of people don't really have many reasons to be. But
I want to be, but things that they're doing on that product makes me go, why should I bother?
The atmosphere, it's like WrestleMania. It's the atmosphere of being there. I know it's a complete difference to turn between WrestleMania and Soundstage 21 at Universal Orlando Resort, but still, it's the same concept. It's just of a more grand scale. It's like you may not like the show, but being there is fun. Being there is entertaining. Being there makes it a lot better. And then when you go back and watch the show, it's like, wow, this show sucked. But I was there, and that's the reason why it was cool. I don't want to go into it with rose-colored glasses, and I definitely don't want to be that guy either. I'm giving WWE a shot. I really am. I'm giving them a chance to wow me that weekend. So many indie shows I could totally go to that feasibly I could go to, but we were able to get to WrestleMania, NXT, SmackDown, and Raw, and I'm still trying to get into Full Sail for NXT. But the thing is, it's just, I mean, I want to be entertained.
Get in there for that?
It's number one, it's sold out. So the only way I could get into it is if I win one of those contests on their Twitter. Yeah, it's definitely sold out.
why was Monsieur Jacob then saying it wasn't?
Takeover got extra seats added recently.
Ah, it might be what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it recently got tickets, but the Full Sail tapings were sold out the day that they went on sale. Ooh, that's interesting. NXT is taping at Full Sail on April 19th, that Wednesday. April 20th is when Impact returns to Universal. That'd be a discussion I'll be having later on. But yeah, I mean, by and large, it doesn't sound like I missed much. I do want to go back and check out a few things, but I mean,
okay, the April 19th Full Sail taping is still not sold out after going on sale on Friday.
right. The
So that's
product.
the one after Mania.
It's the product right now. I mean, NXT has really been stagnant lately. It's not as like it's not as good as it used to be, and like there's still good things, but it's just by and large, it's not as
Nope.
and everyone sees it. Like all the televised product are just going down in quality. We'll see where we go from here. So, and that brings us to tomorrow, where we'll be talking about Monday Night Raw. So we'll talk about where we go from here because that will be the first podcast that I actually will have been able to have seen the whole show of what I'm talking about since I moved. So
disappointing.
Yeah, it sucks. So I have a lot of wrestling to watch tomorrow, and my last day off before hopefully fate welcomes me to a new job force.
So does that mean we're going to be watching WCPW together, just chilling out before Raw?
It is a very possible situation, sir.
Oh shit!
We'll see.
I'm gonna have to get some snacks.
We'll see what
happens. Naya's eating too many snacks.
Right.
I forgot to use that joke, but I just used it then. I'm not trying to say she's fat. It's just she's just getting larger every time I see her. As if she's bulking up, as if she's on roids.
And once again, as I've said, I've been a little critical on the show tonight, and given the fact I didn't get a chance to watch all of it. Show it's just the finishes.
Yeah.
WWE product. There's so many more things that you possibly could get into. Like, see if you have a local indie fed you can check out, maybe get invested in that. You may see some people from the past, like the recent past, people just left WWE or left Impact or Ring of Honor or anything like that. You can check out Impact, you can check out Ring of Honor, you can check out New Japan. I mean, there's a lot of things. And cheap plug, if you want to know a little bit more about anything that you could be checking out that's not WWE related, with the exception of SmackDown 205 Live, check out our Wednesday Wrestling Podcast every Wednesday here on this network, where we talk about a little bit of everything, not just WWE stuff. We actually go into everything. That's the reason the shows are 5 hours long, because we talk about everything. So, like I said, vote with your dollar. If you're not happy with WWE, make a change, because obviously there's no competition that Vince sees. So he can rest on his laurels until wrestling becomes a thing of the past for WWE. So, just
the fact that Goldberg is number 11 on trending and Owens is number 2. Just looking in terms of the WWE ones, obviously WWE Fastlane is number one.
Hmm.
Owens 2, Mania 3, Roman 4, Sasha Banks 5, Brock Lesnar 6, Braun Strowman 7, Goldberg 11, Undertaker at 17. I'm intrigued by the Undertaker tweets. Oh, Jack the Jobber. That's not good.
Logan says they found an indie company in California and more entertaining than Raw. And as long as they're making money,
Please
that's
tell me it was
doesn't care.
PWG.
What's the company, Logan? I'm curious.
Please tell me it's PWG. Well, no, it couldn't be PWG because they're too expensive and the tickets go on sale out of stock too quickly. No Undertaker, no Rollins, no Triple H, nothing surprising. All Fastlane was a glorified episode of Raw.
Oh, God.
Charlotte streak ends, Reigns wins LOL. No Undertaker and Owens drops the title belt faster than the bell rings. WTF. Where's Finn Balor as well as Undertaker? And also, as somebody pointed out, 4 years ago, Rusev was jobbing on the pre-show of Mania. 2 years ago, he came out in a fucking tank. Today, he's feuding with Jinder Mahal.
God.
Mass disrespect.
This company just doesn't know what they're doing. And they haven't for quite a while. I mean, even SmackDown, which is clearly the superior product. And I swear to you, if it wasn't for everything with timing and we do a Tuesday show just to talk about it. But I mean,
I thought there was a fucking botch with Bailey and Charlotte. That springboard off the ropes, which was nowhere near anybody.
Oh, that looked horrible. Just
WrestleMania sign is always visible like the moon from Majora's Mask.
Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Yeah, we've talked about that here on this network before.
Oh, CWF.
Yeah.
CWF Hollywood. Nice. The home of Jervis Cottonbelly now. Oh, yes. My man. Technically, he can still challenge for the Shikara title. Who knows when? I think there's been a mass exodus from Shikara because the amount of people that have now gone from that company, not just like killed off as in Shikara stuff, but like wrestlers in gimmicks like Thunder Frog that no longer are working for them and whatever. It's like ridiculous.
Well, if you want to do...
Matthew was also saying, party I'm at started chanting "Get fucked" to the tune of Angle's theme when Roman went through the table.
So I might as well. I mean, I found this HollywoodWrestling.com to check out CWF Hollywood. TV taping, it's going to be March 12th at the Ocean View Pavilion. And admission is free. Main event, United television title match, Scorpio Sky defending against Devin Sparks. Bad Dude Tito versus the Dirty Daddy Chris Dickinson. James Bateman, plus the Hollywood Heritage Champion Pretty Peter Avalon. Remember him from Impact a long time ago. One half, the United Tag Team Champions Eric Watts, one half of them. Yuma, DJ Hyde, Big Duke, Ray Rosas, Pac 3, which is Coach Flex, Dickie Mayer, Dan Joseph, and Dylan Bostic. Ricky Mandel, which I actually worked several shows with him. Espirito, Astro, Viajero, The Classic Connection, Heather Monroe, Raylan, and so much more. Tape for television, and you can watch KDOC LA and CW6 in San Diego at 9 p.m. on U2 America. And that is Saturdays at 4 for the KDOC in LA. So, yeah, check them out, HollywoodWrestling.com.
Another great tweet from Matthew. I called my first apartment Jinder Mahal because it had no heat.
So I'll throw a little nod here. You'll appreciate this. Anybody that's listening that knows the elite here on the Podcast Network, which is the Horror Nights panel that we have. Diego, Tweetless Diego on Twitter. He messages me, and we were supposed to hang out at Universal the other day, and he basically says, "Just call me Roman Reigns." When I ask exactly if he's at the park yet, he said, "Just call me Roman Reigns." I'm like, "What do you mean, not over?" Everyone got a nice little laugh at that. But let's see what happens with Raw.
Fucking Chuck Taylor.
Of course, Chuck Taylor.
Chuck tweeted, "Last night I asked for my release from Impact Wrestling.
I saw
this morning they informed me I was never employed."
Was never employed. Yes, I saw that I saw that tweet at Impact, actually. It was really funny. Yeah, Lucha Underground was a great alternative. Who knows what's going to happen with that company at this point? They're still not even on Netflix yet, like they were supposed to be. iTunes, not Netflix. That's why we don't talk about them on Wednesday anymore.
Pointed out, in terms of single matches during his current run, Goldberg has wrestled for only 108 seconds, and he's the Universal Champion.
Yeah, we'll see what happens this week. I'm done talking about this pay-per-view. We'll discuss Raw on Monday night. Wednesday back here, 9 p.m. for the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast. NXT, Ring of Honor.
We didn't even mention about Austin Aries' package.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I know I want to bring it up before I forget, because bloody Austin Aries, the genius that he is, during the actual title match build-up, he said, everybody was stunned at my package that got shown a few hours ago, so I want to show everybody my package again. Roll it, guys. It's like,
wow.
Yep. Aries knows how to do PG entendre.
So yeah, that's our show. So real quick, I want to thank Logan for being in chat. Jeremy Mills, I saw Whit was in there for a minute. Pinhead Larry was around. Drew actually showed up. That was cool. And Antonio Gutierrez, who was following along with my Impact results all over the weekend, which you can find out on my Twitter, which I'll give that address again at the end of the show. Ashley, where can we find you on social media?
Find me on Twitter. Ash is my name, UK. I'll probably shoot some sort of video. It might not even now be about the bloody the Dice Awards. Well, it's not even. No, it's not the Dice Awards. It was the. Was it Dice? No, it's the thing afterwards. The IGF Awards or the GDC Awards. It might not even be about that. It might be about good old Nintendo again and their problems and issues and fish tanks. Fucking fish tanks.
Random. So Gaming with Ash will be returning some point this weekend, coming up. Real quick, follow along with the network on Twitter at Popcast Network. Check out my Twitter at Sir Disney. You can also follow Logan on Twitter at LoganBurton10. Pedro Navarro was not in tonight, but he's definitely a loyal fan of the network and a good person. So check out his Twitter at Evil Takes Root. Acer, always props to Acer at Acer1337. Yes, in a row for all the podcasts you should be listening to, wrestling and or otherwise. Plus his YouTube channel at Acer5000. You can follow along with the members of the elite of the Podcast Network as Wit at Jedi Wit 82. Got to hang out with him at Impact. Miller McGinn MCGHIN, and my roommate, of course, Great Traveling Scott, GR8 Trav, TRAVLN Scott. And of course, a shout out to Cleveland, Contra Cleve, and Mr. Entertainment, Aaron, who I spent a bunch of hanging out time with at Impact over the weekend. Follow him at Mr. ENT92. Check out our Facebook fan page at Podcast Network. We're very close to 200 likes. Thank you again for making that possible. We've done a lot in a very short amount of time, and you ain't seen nothing yet, folks. Merch is going to be changing soon on our merch store at Zazzle, and we have a Patreon if you really want to show support. All this available at Podcast Network. You want to look it up. And like I said, programming notes going on tomorrow night, or tonight in this case, close to 11:15, 11:20-ish. Our Monday Night Raw podcast, Ashley and myself talking about Raw. Wednesday will be the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast at 9 p.m., talking all things indie wrestling, including Japan, as well as SmackDown, 205 Live, What Culture Pro Wrestling, NXT, Ring of Honor. They just signed the Hardys and Bully Ray, and there's a bunch of stuff, bunch of fallout coming out, given the fact that this Friday night is the 50th anniversary show out of Las Vegas. So we'll be doing a podcast based on that. We got Sip and Smack coming Thursday. I got a lot of cool stuff here in Orlando that I'm going to be trying in the next coming weeks. So a lot of sips, I'll put it that way. A lot of drinkies for Sarah Lee.
New Day Pops.
New Day Pops will come to this network sooner rather than later. AJ's Movie Reviews is back on its new day and time, which is Sunday next week. We'll see what's going on with that. Versus returns to its new day and time on Friday. And who knows, maybe Gaming with Ash will move to Saturday. I guess we'll see what happens with that. Acer says Fastlane definitely had ups and downs, but controversy abounds. Yes, I did enjoy the Impact tapings, actually. Hopefully it was better than Raw.
Saturday this week, because I need advance notice. Plus, we've got one for Saturday anyway with the Ring of Honor stuff.
Yep, that is correct.
Anyway, so
it may end up being Ashley's new official day would be Saturday. I guess we'll see what happens with that in the near future. Like you said,
in which case, I've just realised there will be no Game of Ash or move a day when it's WrestleMania weekend, because I think that day we may be doing live shows every night, depending how Owens feels.
Well, Owens' feeling will be fine, but it's gonna be hard because the shows are going to be tiered to be running later on WrestleMania week, because I'm at Mania, I'm at TakeOver, I'm at NXT, I'm at Raw, and I'm at SmackDown, and I may or may not be at Full Sail for NXT. So if that's the case, going live directly after is impossible, because I'm going to have to get back to my apartment, and once I get back to my apartment, then we can go live. So,
but no, what I'm thinking is that, oh my god, yeah, that could be an entire 8 days of us being live.
Yeah,
doing the Wednesday show, then depending whether we can, whether I can get a way to watch it or sign up to Flow Slam, possibly watch Evolve on the Thursday.
We'll see.
And then Friday, obviously, you'll be. Are you? Is the Hall of Fame set not? Or not?
I am not going to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, is that the WrestleCon thing you're going to?
I am not. I only am right now have the 4 sets of tickets, and I don't else I'm aware of.
Oh, okay.
I want to do other things.
So Friday means you could go to Shikara.
I'd like to, but I don't know if it's in the cards.
Also, as somebody else has pointed out, it says a lot that in terms of order of preference of champions right now, the number 1 champion is Kevin Owens. The number 2 champion is Finn Balor. And the number 3 champion is In Abeyance.
I'll buy that.
And then it's Goldberg in terms of people liking them. People prefer the title being vacated than Goldberg. Yep.
We'll see what happens. Like I said, that's our show. Once again, I want to thank everyone for joining us live or in archive. As always, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased once more this evening you've chosen a podcast. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening, and send good wishes my way because I got a lot of hopes for some big things coming for myself, not for the network, for myself in the very near future. So big things come from the network too, honestly.
Respect. I think better wishes need to be wished to Tomoaki Honma.
Well, yeah, of course. We'll talk about that on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well wishes in different way, in a different.
With that being said,
so I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
they're putting WrestleMania 30 on next year. They're rubbing it in Daniel Bryan's face.